The Star Wars galaxy is home to some of the most fantastical and fascinating things. Many planets and star systems each hold their own mysteries to be explored, and while most of the galaxy is mapped out on star charts, there remains one facet of the galaxy that never seems to have been explored. This, of course, is the unknown regions. Nearly half of the Star Wars galaxy is unexplored, leaving the other half to remain nearly untouched by the Galactic Republic and uncolonized by most other species. This is due to the constantly changing hyperspace routes which stunt many attempts at exploration. However, opening and closing hyperlanes happen to be the least of one's worries when attempting to access unknown space. So stick with us today, curious spacefarers of the galaxy, as we lead you through the top 5 most dangerous things in the unknown regions. And hopefully by the end of this video, you too will understand the terror that lies beyond known space. Starting at number 5, we have what is known as the Summa Verminoth. Many of you might recognize the gargantuan creature as the beast within the maw in Solo, a Star Wars story. Han Solo has been able to escape the beast with many tentacles by faking it out by launching the Millennium Falcon's escape pods into the maw. Although this was a beast that had inhabited the Maelstrom and the surrounded Kessel Run, their species originated from the unknown regions. For those of you that don't know, they were massive creatures with many eyes and electrified tentacles that often fed on spacefaring ships due to their large size and appetite. Their beastie bulk nearly dwarfs that of an asteroid worm seen in A New Hope, with one specimen reaching the size of the first Death Star, with the one in Solo, a Star Wars story, being considered relatively small for the species, because of the fact that it targeted large ships made it incredibly dangerous, and one of the most dangerous creatures that one could encounter in the unknown regions, as if one stumbled upon it so unluckily, it meant nearly certain death. At number 4 we have a dark side cult known as the Sorcerers of Rand. The Sorcerers of Rand, also known as the Randites, were a religious sect of beings which inhabited a place called the Nile Retreat. The Randites are something not often touched upon in Star Wars legends, despite them possibly becoming a very large threat to the wider galaxy in the future, though we get a clue as to who they are from Mother Talzin's chapter in the Book of the Sith. In the book, she says this: the most enigmatic of a new competitors are the Sorcerers of Rand, that claim kinship with the dark, which they view as the embodiment of decay and death. A true sorcerer is said to be able to use a psychic blast to eradicate an object or living being of the Force entirely. The Randites did not believe in the Force, light or dark, but actually subscribed to a power that they believed to be higher than the Force, a power which they called the Dark. This was their creed. Only power is real, and only real power is the power to destroy. Existence is fleeting. Destruction is eternal. For the Randites, destruction was the will of the universe. They called this the Way of the Dark. The Way of the Dark was the cornerstone of the Randites. They saw destruction as a permanent change in the structure of the universe. Through this destruction, a void was created, an absence of life. The void was the foundation of truth. They reveled in the pit of cosmic chaos, and they were able to access a wide variety of mysterious power, much like the Night Sisters of Dathomir. However, it seemed that the sorcerers might have been far more powerful. As stated by Mother Talzin, she said that she had heard that they could use their power to utterly eradicate anything in their path by using psychic energy. The psionic powers go beyond this as well, with them being able to use a power which they called Darksight. Darksight was an ability to create the future by looking at all the possible outcomes and choosing the one that suited their best use, though the outcome was not guaranteed. Part of its success was determined by the user's alignment with the dark. We learn about this when Luke Skywalker had to defend the New Republic from a prophet by the name of Lord Shadowspawn, who had studied under the Sorcerers of Rand. At number 3, we have what is known as the Star Weirds. I am not making that up. Picture this: you and your crew are flying through hyperspace on your way to exploration. A few Jedi are among you just for safety. Suddenly, from beyond your ship, you see a figure floating there in hyperspace. It is a tall and gaunt, impossibly bony figure. Its long skeletal arms so prominent, with it holding its hands at its side, tipped with 3 long sharp talons on each of the hands. Its hair and clothes float up around it as it flies there. Upon seeing you, its dark sockets suddenly light up as it lets out a shriek that you can hear in your very mind. Fear grips your heart as your blood runs cold. Your hands white-knuckled the controls of the ship, but it's too late. These incorporeal banshees have already boarded your ship. In the back, you hear lightsabers ignite, and another shriek is let out, and then suddenly, you hear the lightsabers extinguish as the bodies of your Jedi compatriots fall to the floor, and all goes quiet. What I just described was a likely encounter with a Star Weird. These creatures are believed to be manifestations of the dark side, which often encounter broken down ships in empty space, and can even manifest into hyperspace. Upon being spotted, Star Weirds become enraged and release a loud, piercing, telepathic shriek that affects creatures within 20 meters. Due to the call's telepathic nature, it could be heard even in the vacuum of space. After issuing the shriek, the powerful creature would set upon its foe, shredding them with their sharp, taloned claws. A Star Weird would only choose one target and focus in on that individual. The creatures were noted for having a particular hatred for Force sensitives, who they would mindlessly concentrate on killing, even if they were other creatures that were present there. These beings were capable of using the Force and could use abilities such as Life Drain and even Force Lightning. What is most frightening about these creatures is that they aren't confined to the unknown regions, having made appearances in wild space and even the Outer Rim. Number 2, we have the Zonama Sakat. Zonama Sakat is one of the most curious occurrences in the entire Star Wars galaxy, as it is a phenomenon of a sentient, force-wielding planet. Zonama was the name of the planet, whereas Sakat was the name of the living intelligence. Originally, the planet was in the main part of the galaxy and was inhabited by the Nangaisi colonists. The planet was rumored to be home to one of the fastest ships, which led Anakin and Obi-Wan to explore the planet at one point in time. Later on, the planet would be attacked by the Yuzhong Vong, although Sakat repelled their attacks and ultimately defeated the Force. During an invasion of the Empire, Sakat unveiled its secret, which was a hyperdrive that the Langeshi had built into the planet itself. Sakat then activated it and escaped into the unknown regions. Later, Luke Skywalker and his companions would seek out the planet to learn more about the Yuzhong Vong. This was because Zonan was a seed that was separated from the original home planet of the Yuzhong Vong, which brings us neatly to our last stop. The planet, however, is highly interesting because, again, it represents an intelligence as well as a living planet, and was able to defeat one of the most powerful forces in the Star Wars galaxy, not only by being more powerful, but by also outwitting them, leading us again into our number 1. The number 1 most dangerous thing in the unknown regions of space is the Yuzhong Vong. We have briefly covered the Vong a few times before on the channel. They are without a doubt one of the biggest threats to the entirety of the Star Wars galaxy, because they don't actually originate from the Star Wars galaxy. The Vong come from another galaxy entirely, and as such, they don't adhere to the rules of the Star Wars galaxy as we know it. Many Vong warriors are resistant or outright immune to many Force powers. They don't use technology, but rather use a strange technology consisting of living biots, creatures that were born and bred for their specific tasks. Their starships, weapons, gadgets, and even their armor is made from strange organic material. The Yuzhong Vong themselves despise technology and see it as an abomination. As such, their ship's weapons are strong enough to penetrate and even eat away at most ships, including their deflector shields, giving the Vong an inherent advantage. In Star Wars Legends, the Yuzhong Vong invasion was so impactful that it nearly completely destroyed the entire New Republic, as well as Luke Skywalker's new Jedi Academy. Notable pieces of technology included their feared Yamosks, which were called War Coordinators due to the fact that they served as biotic battle analysis computers, and had the capacity to coordinate Yuzhong Vong forces to a frightening degree. Through their Villips, they had managed to create a communication system that rivaled the galactic holonet. Different breeds of such organisms were also capable of producing living light holograms, which the Yuzhong Vong had mastered for centuries. Similar to navigation computers, the Yuzhong Vong vessels possessed navibrains that were required to plot hyperspace jumps. On their ships were also weapons that could manipulate gravity to pull entire ships out of hyperspace. Yuzhong Vong personal weaponry included living serpentine weapons called Ampustat that were able to alter their form, allowing their user to use them as a spear or a whip. Furthermore, they wore Vondam Skur Kinnick armor, which was capable of protecting them from weapon fire as well as even lightsaber strikes. There have been a small outpost of Yuzhong Vong in the unknown regions and legends, which the Chiss ancestry have made first contact with. determining that they were in fact hostile, with the Yuzhong Vong being the only creature that lies in the unknown regions of space, besides the likes of Abeloth, which is a Force entity that rivaled the entirety of the Star Wars galaxy. So friends, what did you think of today's video, and would you like to learn more about the unknown regions of space? Also, out of everything that we listed, what did you find to be the most terrifying? As always, my friends, if you enjoyed this video, a like would help out the channel a great deal. As always, may the Force be with you, and I will hopefully see you soon.